Just need some space.
Hey squad, Mark and Amber here again, still talking about spiritual disciplines. And today we're in Matthew chapter 7, verses 7 through 12, seeing what else Jesus had to say about prayer and what we can do with that in our lives. Let's jump right in. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened. Who among you, if his son asks him for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, who are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good things to those who ask him? Therefore, whatever you want others to do for you, do also the same for them, for this is the law and the prophets. Amber, what does that mean for us?
So the beginning of this verse says, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you. And it's easy to think that God is saying here that as long as we ask him for it, he will give it to us. But really what's happening here is God is saying that when you ask him to come into your life, there is no tricks, there is no pounding on the door will be open for you. Seek and you will find, like we talked about in our last video, as you dive deeper into your relationship with God, as you further align your will with his will, you will find that the things that you want, the things that you really need in your life are joy and peace and God's strength, wisdom, guidance. And so when that starts to happen, when you ask God for those things, he gives them to you. I kind of think of the old Scooby-Doo where they are in a hallway full of doors and they're running back and forth and each door is a trick door. But that's not what's happening here. There is no trick door. That's why he's saying, if your Father, who is evil in comparison to me, gives good gifts to you, how much more is your Father in heaven who loves you going to give to you? So when you ask for these things, he's not going to withhold them for you. He is going to bless you with them immediately if you want that door to open in your life.
Mm-hmm. Jesus has already introduced a lot of ideas that we need to start walking out as followers of him through the Sermon on the Mount and in the earlier chapters here. And like Amber said, he introduced a lot about joy, peace, patience, where in this culture they were very worried about the other works that they could do, about the way that they looked in public, about the clothes that they wore, about the sacrifices that they brought. And Jesus is asking you to turn your heart toward God. And if you're asking God to give you those heart attitudes, you will get closer and closer to him. It's just like Josh talked about a couple months ago. In Psalms, our memory verse was, delight in the Lord always, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And Josh explained to us that the more we delighted in the Lord, the more that the Lord was our source of joy, the more that the desires of our heart were going to be things that he wanted for us and not, an Xbox 360 or PS5 or those things. I know Xbox 360 is old, forgive me guys. But that's what he's talking about here again. Mm-hmm. And then he sort of shifts gears in verse number 12 and says, therefore, whatever you want others to do for you, do also the same for them. For this is the law and the prophets. Jesus has put the ball back in our court, so to speak. And he's, again, introduced this idea earlier in his ministry and said, hey, whatever you want people to do for you, you should be doing the same for them. In fact, even people that hate you, people that you hate, people that have done you wrong, you want them to do good things for you, right? So do good things for them. And Jesus is bringing that idea back to the forefront because that's the heart of Jesus' ministry, is that whatever we want people to give to us, we should give up to them first. And Jesus is alluding to our squad vision verses in Matthew chapter 22, verses 36 through 40, where Jesus says the two most important commands are love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And the second one is almost as important, and it's love your neighbor as yourself. Those are Jesus' words, not mine. And Jesus is telling us here, once God has poured out the joy, the peace, the patience, the understanding, the love into your life, those are now your gifts to give everyone around you in the world, because that's what you want to receive, so you should be giving that.
Mm-hmm. So guys, again, we're in Matthew chapter 7, verses 7 through 12. So just remember as you're reading this, that the whole point of this and the whole point of us doing the spiritual disciplines is that we are trying to deepen and strengthen our own relationship with God. Everything, all of these disciplines center around deepening our relationship with Christ, because once we do that, these verses start to make a lot more sense. You're not thinking, oh, if I just ask God for a new car, it will be given to me. No, you will start to realize that the things that are of value in this world are the fruit of the Spirit, and the things that God has said He will bless you with. So we pray that you take this to heart, that you're taking it in and you're reading it for yourself, and that your relationship with God is continuing to grow and strengthen.
Guys, we hope this helps. We love you. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
I just need some